Hello and welcome to a new Google Sheets video in Practical Sheets. We continue today our reservation system in Google Forms, Google Sheets and Google Calendar. And today we're going to continue improving our system. So right now we have a very solid system where I can create some slots for when I'm free to do my service or where the hours where I'm going to have available reservations, for example. Let's go up to today and we're going to create 3 new slots. It is important that I create them in the calendar I assigned for it. In our case, it's this Google Sheet class. And once I create it, automatically it fills out this sheet with available dates, and automatically it fills out this Google form with the available slots for the user to choose one of them. And once the user picks one, it gets booked, and the next user that wants to select it may no longer select the one that was booked. And you see, I don't have to do anything behind the scenes. Everything's already set up, so I can rest assured that I won't have 2 reservations for the same slot, and that every time I create a new slot, it automatically appears in my form. So it's working really good. There's one thing I want to do. Once you have a lot of available slots, and for example, I have this booked, it would be nice to have this in a different color. This one Thursday at 7 in a different color, or maybe in a different calendar that has a different color, so I can, if I want to hide all my available slots and only see the booked ones, I can do it. So this is what I'm going to do today. The first thing is I'm going to change this name to Google Sheet classes available slots. Actually, just available slots. Okay, I have it here, and I'm going to create a new one that is called booked slots. Okay, now I have it here, and maybe I can have it in a yellow color, so it's different from my Practical Sheets blue one. Okay, so the trick here is to know that this changed from free to booked. What I'm going to do is, once I do a reservation that will be stored automatically here, I will take this date, the date of the class, and go to my calendar. And for example, here on Thursday, we'll go here and change this event from this calendar to the booked slots calendar. Move it. Let's see if we can do it in a simple way. I'm going to create a new function that is called move events to booked calendar. The first thing I need to know is the date. So there are a couple of ways of doing this. One way is to add to this move to book calendar an event. And if I go to my reference here to triggers and to the event objects, I'm going to see here, when I submit a form, what objects do I have? And the object I need is not this timestamp, but the date. So I need this object that brings all the answers, and the answer I need with this name, date of the class. So this is called name values. So here, name values will be our object, and this object will contain all the answers, but the answer I want, the question that is the answer for the question that is called date of the class. So I'm going to put this in quotation marks, and this will be my date. Now, once I have the date, I will use this date to go and look for the event in this exact date here. So I can connect to my current calendar, that is this one, the free slots calendar, because I know it will be there. And in this calendar, I can use a couple of methods. For now, I think it will be this get events. and get events need a start time date and an end time date. So given that I know that my events last 1 hour, so the start time will be date and the end time. Let's create here an end time. For the end time, I'm going to create a new date. Actually here, what we can do is do this new date with this, so we make sure that it is a date object. And here in the end time, or end instead of date, let's call it starting time. The end time will be a new date with the starting time. Let's get the time, and we're going to add an hour. How do we add an hour? An hour is, this get time is in milliseconds. So I'm going to add 1000 milliseconds, that is 1 second, times 60 seconds, that is 1 minute, times 60 minutes, that is 1 hour. Okay, so this is 1 hour. So I'm adding 1 hour. So the starting time will be the date of the class, and the end time will be 1 hour after that. Here in get events, we're going to get events starting time and ending time. Let's call it ending time. Also here. And we're going to call this events, because remember this is this gets, even if it's only one event, it gets an event array. So for events, I need to do a for each. In theory, we should only have one. So for each event that is only one, we're going to do the following. So I would have to delete the event and create a new event with the same starting time and ending time in the new calendar we just created. So here I'm going to create a new constant that is called booked slots calendar. I'm going to bring this ID from the new book slots calendar. It's this one. So I'm going to call this calendar available calendar, and we're going to create a new one that is called booked calendar. And now in this booked calendar, I'm going to create an event in the same starting time and the ending time. And I could set the title to the same title. No, should time to booked slot. Or maybe we could even go further and put it with the name of the customer. It could be nice. For now, let's see if this works. Maybe not, because I'm doing a lot of changes without testing. So this is not a very good practice. So let's see what happens. Now, you must remember that for these event functions to work, first we need to do a trigger. So let's see if I can add another trigger with this move event to book calendar. And to add the trigger, on form submit, and save. Okay, now we're going to submit a new answer to see what is happening. Let's submit. Let's go to our calendar to see if something happens. This deleted it, so the first step worked well. The second one is not working. Let's see what is happening. Let's go here to our executions, and it says the parameters don't match the method signature. So it's still taking the date as a text and not as a date. So we need to do some loggers. I'm going to log first my ename values, but the curious thing is that the starting time and ending time, it's working for the events, but not for the create event. I don't know why. Because, yeah, I know why. Because the create event, actually at the beginning, it needs another argument. The create event needs first the title. So I forgot the title. So actually the title will be here, book slot. I can delete this, and here I'll put a comma, and then starting time and ending time. That's it. That was the problem. So I just have one left. That is this one at 8 a.m. So let's test it again. Let's submit another response. I only have one left. Let's submit it and see what happens. So here it worked. Amazing. So it deleted the available slot and now put it like a booked slot. So this is nice because now I have in two separate calendars my book slots and my available slots. So I love it. Now let's test it again. Let's see first our deleted slots, because our deleted slots only works for available slots. But we can do the same for available. But now these deleted available slots, I have up here an unopen. Let's update the name of this function, delete available slots. I can do another function, just copy this and call it delete all book slots. And this will be booked slots calendar ID, and the rest will remain the same. And in our unopen, we're going to add another item that it's called delete all booked slots. You should be careful, because if it's already booked, then maybe you should notify the customer or something like that. Let's save. I'm going to, and let's run the unopen so that it updates my menu. And here now I have it. Let's delete all available slots, see what happens. I actually deleted everything, because this is the program doesn't recognize this as a slot, so here it will not appear. This is the problem. So what I can do is I have here a function that's called bring events. What I could do is to bring first the events of the available calendar and then the ones for the booked calendar. So let's call this available calendar. And then we can do the same thing that we did here, but for our booked calendar. So this will be booked calendar. This will be booked slots calendar ID. And let's call this a variable. And here, events will be my booked calendar. Get events. Now I don't have to do the clear content part. I already deleted the content. So to know in which row I'm going to put this, I'm going to create a new variable called row. And this row will be index +2. And down here, in the second one, I will put it as row. Then I will start adding 1 to this row with ++. Okay, this should work. Let's save. I'm going to delete this. In my reservation system, I shouldn't have any slots. Okay, so I'm going to create again some slots. Okay, let's see. Here it works. Let's refresh this. And here it works. Perfect. So now we're going to book one. This one. Let's submit. I have it here as booked. It changed the calendar here. It works very, very nice. And here I think it continues to work. Let's see, I'm going to delete only the available ones. All available slots. So what happened here is that given that it deleted them, when it brings all the events, there is not going to be any event in the available slots. So we never entered this loop. So my row it doesn't have a number. So what I can do here, down here, it's say that this row will be initially 0. And down here, I can say that if my row is 0, this means that it never entered this other one. Then the row will be index plus 2. This will only happen once. It's safe. I think we can run these bring events from here. Actually, have here update only the available slots. So it will be here in update available slots. That actually we shouldn't call it available slot, but just slots. Update all slots. So apparently this is working really nice. I have my book slots. Here I don't have any available slots. Let's create just one, just to make sure that everything's working fine. This is not bringing the new events. Again, let's create another one. So now it's finally working, but only one, I don't know why. I think it's overriding. Let me see. Because row should be added. So maybe it's index plus 2, but if not, then the row plus plus, I should have it here, index plus 2 plus 1. Because if it did update it, row should be the next one, okay? Now let's save, and let's manually update here. Update. Actually, this shouldn't be called like this. Let's play the unopen again. Again, update all the slots. And now it's working fine. So I think it's good. What we managed to do again is to have two calendars, the available one and the booked one. And once I have new available slots that I set up the available slots, I'm going to set them up here directly from my calendar. And it will update here and it will update in my Google Forms. And once I do a reservation, what will happen in my Google Calendar is that the available slot for that particular date will change to book slot. And now when I update my events, it will update first the ones from my available slot calendar and then the ones from my booked calendar. This won't be a problem that the dates may not, given that first it will bring the free and then the booked, the dates won't necessarily be in order. But it doesn't matter because given that my Google Forms only will bring the free ones and the free ones will be at the beginning, these are the ones that is important that are sorted from the first date to the last date, but the booked ones not. So this won't be a problem. So that's it. I think each time our system looks better. The rationale for this is that now I can see, if I hide my book slots, I can see only my available slots, and I can only see my book slots if I hide the available slots. So I have them in two separate places and I know how is my time. I will not be confused and think that these are actually events. These are only potential events, but these yellow ones are actually booked events, paid events that are part of my calendar and are scheduled and it's important that I attend to them. But the pink ones is just my available slots. But when I'm planning my calendar, when I'm planning my next week or my next day, I can see that these available slots, I just hide them and know that actually my real appointments are the ones in yellow. Okay, so it's a visual thing that I think once we have a lot of slots, it could work really nicely. So that's it. As always, thank you so much for watching, and you can support me just by subscribing to the channel and hitting the notify button, or you can go a bit further and go to the Patreon page where you'll find the templates for all the videos you see here. Thank you so much. See you next time.